What's good? You're listening to Culture Quest. This is where we ask the question, why are we like this? On this podcast, we explore culture, but of course, culture that's specific to us as Bahamians, as Black people, as Caribbean people, all that good stuff. I'm MCK, and I'm here with the homie from Time J, and of course, our boy Poof is here as well. And we're gonna talk all things us. So, as always, shout out to the Solid Network, and yeah, let's get into it. Uh, episode 2, season 3. What's good, y'all? Y'all good?
You don't know. You don't know. We're
You
back
done?
again for another season, guys.
Good, man. Can't complain at all. Everything Irie.
Solid, solid. I noticed how too y'all said Jamaican terms just now, but that ain't cool. So we gonna start the show off. Like we always like to start the part off with some show and proof. We talking about Bahamian culture, we talking about Caribbean culture, and we just wanna, sort of make sure that we live in what we talking about. So I can pull the card real quick. You wanna see your Bahamian proof card? Um, Show us your Bahamian. What
No
what you
pun
got for
intended.
us today, proof?
All right, so we can ease into season 3. I kind of hit y'all with some crazy facts in the previous season. So, fun fact: I actually played dominoes with one of um, our Bahamian forefathers or founding fathers, I should say, Mister the Right Honorable, rest his soul, Loftus Roker. We used to jam dominoes out Montague, but
And I'm just gonna say let the bill.
no, but I ain't, me and Ping, I know Ping like that.
Bro, I was gonna be like, you should lead with that. That's you. You
Listen
should
to me.
definitely
Nah,
lead with that.
nah.
If he get
Loftus
Duke,
Roker, man. We used to jam dominoes.
if he get Duke on Bing, yeah, you like, like,
I
come
get
on.
Duke, I get Duke, I get Duke on Loftus. I could say that. I mean, he ain't here to defend himself, so I probably shouldn't say that. Everything good, we can let that
Wow,
one slide.
wow.
That's
Yeah,
that's that's truly Bahamian. You got
yeah, we can let that slide.
and I think the real hard hitting part is Dave's of Montague.
Yeah, yeah.
It
That's
was
that's
yeah. They
iconic as
wasn't
it
just
is. You know what I
playing.
mean?
It wasn't just playing anywhere. They're playing on Montague
I'm
specifically.
telling
He's
you,
under the coconut tree, Montague. Man. Oh
that's it.
snap!
All right, you straight. So so Jay, what you got? What you got for us today?
My one. I think long and hard for this, but I'm really proud of this. As a true Bahamian, because I still get a copy of the one of Bapple Date.
The one of Apple Tape.
The one of Bapple. If you was a Bahamian, if you was Caribbean, you know about the one of Bapple Date. You
I
know
just
how
gonna say,
ingrained that book is. And I
are
still
you
got a
even
copy of that.
Bahamian?
Y'all do your Googles about Bapple Date, huh?
I love how you do that.
Like it's
Like,
way back.
I
yeah,
telling
he
you.
ain't sure, but it's okay. The one about that, I remember that, but I remember in our one of our favorite teacher class. We had some moments in that class. So it's some classic. Okay,
Oh man.
I see you. I see your Bible date. I see you slamming.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I think I might hold a record for the most plates toted at one family event. I got 24 for 24 one time, bro. Nah, I
In one
still
night.
ain't invited. I still ain't invited to some functions, but
In one night.
24 for 24 one night, one event, and it wasn't even
This was
Christmas.
top.
So
This was Tupperware or this was disposables.
it's a little combination. Uh,
So that means you had the furl and the saran wrap on deck.
some for
All
some
right, all
some
right,
paper plates, some
all
Tupperware.
right. That one
Might
for the
have been one
culture.
Wendy's cup or whatever in there too.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's mad crazy.
So.
Mad crazy.
Bro, remind me to tell a story, but I ain't gonna call this person out. This person brings some sodas to the party, told they sodas back. And more sodas. But I can save that for another
Uh,
episode.
So they take day sodas back plus
More sodas.
additional sodas what
extra.
they didn't bring.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds beaming to me. So yeah, man,
Crazy.
we're gonna
Gotta
get
go.
into it. Today's episode is brought to you by Bank of the Bahamas. Come get a loan for a car. No, but today we really gonna talk about success, right? And not talking about the school. We're gonna talk about like the idea of success. Like what is
Mm,
success to us in the culture, in the Bahamian context. Who's considered successful? What metric do we even use to measure that? Is
mhm.
is it is it attainable? Is it a pipe dream?
Mhm.
Is it different from Western view, the Western society view of success? Yeah, so we're gonna get into all of that on this episode. This one, the one about success. So just to kick it off, I think like we should maybe like ask a question like, what is success
What is
uh,
success?
to
Yeah.
you? I guess.
Mm. I like how you saying I'm not the school because only real Bahamians, all Bahamians said that know what success.
I mean, I don't know, but yeah, go ahead.
What success? I feel like success at one point the Bahamian dream used to be like just you get your Atlantis job, get you a nice Honda, get you a government house, have two, 3 kids. Hopefully, all of them in the marriage, and then send them to COB. Be able to afford to send them to COB and live like that. Like that used to be the traditional Bahamian dream. That Atlantis, that Honda,
Hmm.
that government house, two, 3 kids, and you could send them to a private school. I don't know specific private school, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I feel like that was the traditional dream. Stable
That's like
job.
what, like 90s, 80s, maybe. Not
Yeah,
like
like late.
I'd say that's given 90s millennial sort of Bahamian dream. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
success was always based on stability. Like like you have a stable job where you can at least pay your bills, and then you go in like 3 to 4 years soon, and you get yourself a house, so you ain't got to keep paying rent. And
Three to
then
four years.
yeah, and then you have your kids or what's not. And if you're doing good for your kids, you can probably send them to private school, and maybe they go to COB or they maybe go off. And that used to
Hmm.
be it.
Yeah. But you say it changed. It changed these days.
I think for me, I feel like that idea of success changed because certain persons realize that it's more than just living comfortable. I remember like old people used to preach like find a stable job. Like at one point before banks start closing job, like the bank job was like the ideal safe job.
No, government job was the ideal safe job.
Yeah,
Find yourself someone
yeah,
government job,
facts.
log that, and you straight.
Yeah,
Definitely, like private sector was like bank, and then
yeah,
Right. Exactly.
government
Yeah.
sector. Like you got them. Like okay, you in a good situation. Yeah.
yeah. So back then, I would say the metric for success was comfort and stability. Like once you able to be comfortable and find some stable job or stability in your life, like you were successful. Now it's more so tailored to the person's view of life or their perspective or how they want to live life. Because a lot of people, or a lot of I'd say millennials, and what is the generation after us? Generation Z or something like that.
Yeah,
I
Gen
can't keep
Z.
up. There's so much letters. But like home ownership ain't really the focus no more because a lot of persons ain't even worried about that. Like that's so
Yeah,
far
for
out of
sure.
reach
For
where
sure.
where they ain't worried about that. Stability is once I okay or once I enjoy in life. Like people people quitting jobs at record pace this time and so it's like stability ain't really the metric for success no more. It's more so enjoyment or quality of life.
Okay, that's a good take for sure. I could see
Yeah.
your view on that. Would you agree, Proof? You similar? You see
Yeah.
it
I mean,
similarly?
I do agree, but I feel like, I mean, if we want to define it, I think in most basic terms, success is when you have a goal and you achieve, or you meet that goal, or you accomplish the target that you set out for. I think that's as basic as it gets when it comes to defining what success is. I
Mm.
have a dream, I have a vision, this is something that I want to achieve, and you actually do that.
That's
I
interesting.
mean,
Yeah,
that's as basic as success gets. You know what I mean?
yeah. I said that's interesting because when you really think about sort of like success and like the version what Jay was talking about, I never necessarily felt like it was a goal orientated thing. It was like you want. It's more like I want to have a house and a piece of property, and I want to be set up or whatever. But it
Right,
wasn't
right.
necessarily like okay, about to go to school, do this, then do that, and then get this, and then get that. Maybe I was just like too young to like see the goal set inside of it. but it feel almost like a dream and a hope and like a cross finger rather than like in a North American
Something
context.
you
I feel
work
like
toward.
yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
gonna go get this masters and then I'm gonna get that
Right.
specific
Right. Right.
position.
Right.
That position
Yeah.
would give me the 401k and then I got to take the X and take the down payment and get the right. Like I don't think BIM is necessarily like that, at least it used to be as like
Yeah.
methodical, like I gotta do this to that to this. I definitely think it's more like that today. But that's interesting that you just like you sort of like align it with setting a goal and then achieving
Yeah.
that goal.
Yeah.
Because that's a really good point. I think I guess I would agree with that. Like that's kind of like how I look at success too. Like if we set out to do X and we do the X,
Right.
especially if the thing was like hard to pull off in the first
Accomplish
place,
or whatnot. Yeah.
like that's success to me.
Mm.
But yeah, in a wider context, I think I agree with both of y'all um, on like how we look at success. But yeah, I guess that kind of answers my next question was like what it looked like to most Bahamians in their
Mm.
opinion. But then I guess
Yeah.
that would make me think about like, okay, who is the most successful
Mm.
Bahamian you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like who would you first of all consider the most successful Bahamian around?
Mm. Who would be considered the most successful
See,
behavior?
but that's a tough question to answer though,
Mm.
because then again, success looks different for everybody. You know what I mean? For me, it
For
could just
sure.
be achieving a goal. For somebody else, it could be how much zeros they had at the end of that number in their bank account. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Hmm.
Or I
I
finally
think
land my dream
money
home. Of
definitely
course,
play a
but
role in all of that, right?
of
Yeah.
course, of
But
course.
then for some people, like for instance, popularity is success to some people, right?
Right.
Like
I was about to touch on that just
I
now
have
too.
this much
Yeah.
followers.
Yeah.
For
Right.
me, like you could have
Right.
150,000 followers if we shopping in the same food store, you're in the same line as me. The KFC, I already get. I mean, I'm impressed, but that's
Yeah.
my metric, right? Like so, but for some people, like that's a legitimate thing. They have
Of course.
150,000 followers. I think I saw someone the
Mhm.
other day, like they voted out of an event because they reach a certain amount of followers. And I was like, that's interesting. I mean, like celebrate the wins for sure.
Yeah, like no
But for
knock.
me, it's not even something I
Mm.
would have necessarily
Right. And
thought
see, that's the
about. You know
thing.
what I mean?
If we look at success as a goal oriented thing, every goal that you achieve
Mm.
makes you that much more successful. I mean, in your own right. You know what I mean? So um if for that person it was to reach a certain number of followers, then to them that's success. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's worth celebrating, you know. So that's why I said that's a tough question.
yeah.
But if we were to talk dollars and cents, I mean, we all know which Bahamian name we calling out the gates. You know what I mean? Like no question,
Hmm.
hands down. Sabas definitely on the list.
I gotta say Brent Simmons.
Definitely.
So I
It's crazy because he's
Definitely.
saying it, and I was like, is either one or two?
Or
You
the
know,
other, right?
is either the
Yeah.
light skin or the white skin? Like,
I mean, that's the reality of it.
so we at the same page, right? Like, yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, that's the reality of it.
Um, I think the way some people like it really is a perspective or a subjective take, whereas they're like, what is success and who is successful? I think for most times the general public or like a general consensus would rate success based on your proximity. So just how you said, like, okay, you get 150 followers or what's not, but we at the same KFC, like I knocking your success now because you don't feel successful once I got that level of like
Access to you.
access to you. So it's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like Buddy Hill, and I shout out my boy Buddy. We need you on the show, Buddy. But Buddy is one of the most successful like Bahamian athletes ever. Like outside of Clay, I mean Clay, of course, but like when you think of Buddy Hill, like Buddy Hill is one of the best shooters in the National Basketball Association ever in existence. But it don't feel like have that allure or that notoriety because I could see Buddy at Bamboo Shack. Like I could see Buddy like if I could see Buddy and dap
Yeah.
him up. So it
It's like
don't feel
buddy's
like
just another bite.
Yeah, so like it feel like you just want us, so it don't feel like okay, it's that level of success where it's like, out of all the people been playing basketball, he shoot better than I would say 95% of them. So I feel like sometimes that proximity or that access kind of diminish the feel of success
Yeah,
in a
for
way.
sure.
Now,
Yeah.
like no knocking nobody's success, but I feel like that's a mental thing that ingrained in our culture
Yeah, I
because
was gonna say that's super Bahamian, right?
mm,
Like if I could like touch you, if I have access to you, it's like you could be up couple M's, like
mhm,
Saban's up couple M's, but it's like you'll rate someone who might even have less than them a little higher because man,
mm,
he's go right to my church with me, you know what I mean?
mm,
Which is interesting because we also value that, right? Like if Buddy was
mm.
rocking brand new, if Buddy is
Yeah,
rocking Hollywood, they'd be like, but who this boy think he
he thinks
is?
he's better than people.
Right. But because he's so down and so cool,
Mm.
it almost like take his celebrity down a notch too.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting sort of like way we look at it. But I
Mm.
think you make some really strong points too. Like it is like a proximity thing, right? Like I always talk about like Bahamians in general. There's only like what 400,000 of us in the world,
Yep.
Yeah.
right? For Buddy to be one of the best statistical all time shooters, right? That's insane, bro. Like, I don't think people understand like how crazy that is. Like this
Mm.
dude, like mathematically, that's insane.
Mm.
Like sometimes just for us, like to be in the same room in certain spaces, like your Bahamians and filmmaking, and the Bahamian just come from outer space couple hours
Yep.
ago,
And now
right?
shout out to Aisha, bro.
That's
They
crazy, bro.
they really catch
That
it
is
21A, go on in space, and come back.
that's crazy,
Bro,
way.
like that's like legit out of this world, right? Like that's a bad joke, but
Literally,
But
literally.
yeah,
then,
like
Uh,
yeah, but like seriously, like when you really think about like the math of that,
mm,
like statistically, like she's a black woman in space already. That's a thing. Then you
yeah,
from a little small island nation of less than like there's cities in America with more with three, four,
larger than
six
our
times the
entire
people that
exactly.
we
population.
right.
Exactly.
So anytime
Yeah.
you see us, it's like, bro, I always like super respect Bahamians in those spaces because it's like we a statistical anomaly, bro. Like we a glitch in the system, bro, and we everywhere, bro. Like we
Literally.
are everywhere. Like I said, you just come from outer space. Like that's crazy to me, But we'll still look at other people
Mm,
from elsewhere, and I think our measure of success is very much uh elsewhere, right? Very much
mm.
like you know Western and Americanized. I think you know.
Mm.
But yeah, like Jay, you want to say who you would say is the most successful?
Um,
Unless that was a plug for Buddy.
I mean, I shout out my boy Buddy for true. We used to shoot crate ball back at 8 Mile Rock. He always used to win because Buddy used to cheat. But
Is that just from NASA?
that's a different life. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Shout out to my boys from the Rocks. Um, Most successful Bohemian, I'd have to say. I feel like it like because of the general metrics, money, fame, access, like influence, just based on those metrics, I would have to go with Proof and name Bastian Sabas with it. Um in my bias and just
Hmm.
in me thinking a little bit deeper, I'd say Sydney as in the most successful because you didn't know he's the most successful because he's the most successful in general, not only in the Bahamas
Mm.
as far as success, but success worldwide. Like his success is
On an
world renowned
international level as well. Yeah.
to the point where it's like it transcends only our borders. Where okay, Bonefish Foley is the
Hmm.
Bahamian success. No, like he is the Bahamian
By any
success.
standard,
Yeah,
yeah.
like he ain't just a Bahamian success. He's a successful Bahamian, and I feel like
Yeah.
once you reach a point where your success trumps your nationality. Like your nationality still means something, but that's their level of success.
No, for sure. I get what you're saying. That's
Yeah.
a good
Well,
point. I was gonna say so Sydney too, for the same reasons, right? Like
mm,
it's just I think honestly he's synonymous with greatness in general, right? You think of
mm,
Jordan, you think of Jordan and ball and LeBron and ball, and you think about Jeter and baseball and stuff like that, and then you think about acting, and it's like it's your Denzel, such as Sydney,
Sydney.
um, which once
While we're on the
again
note, right?
is crazy. Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
for sure, for sure. What, you're familiar with Roxy Rocco, Bahamian woman
I
in
don't think
film?
so. I don't
the
think
name
so.
She
sounds
was
familiar.
she actually aired on a few episodes of the Jeffersons, bro. You know, Jeffersons is like a big sitcom in the black community. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So she
iconic.
was
Yeah,
actually the second half of a interracial relationship on the Jeffersons, and I just learned that today. I didn't even know that there were additional Bahamians out there in film. You know,
yeah. I
but
think
that's
now to
pretty
just
dope too.
say
You
it,
know,
I think I've heard that story before, but like I wouldn't know.
yeah.
You know, if I look at her,
Mhm.
I wouldn't know what I'm looking at. But that's
Right.
crazy. Yeah, the Jeffersons is it's
That's
iconic,
classic. Yeah.
black
It's a
black
staple in the black
legend.
household.
Yeah.
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 Question. Two questions.
Hmm.
First question would be: does your success count if the masses don't acknowledge it? That's the first question. And then, how you all feel about the fact that sometimes persons have the like garner success or reach a successful point outside of the country before they appreciate it inside of the country. Like we don't,
Yeah.
in certain cases, we don't rate you while you're doing it at home. But the minute you go
Of course not.
abroad or the minute you go away and like you start to turn up, then we slap that Bahamian flag on you. Like yo, I proud of you. Like I proud of you. I know you's a Bahamian. I go on to like
Yeah.
we do PD together. I see you to be that.
PD.
One of
Yeah.
one of my brethren actually talk about this in one of his songs. You see, he was like, "By a prophet ain't recognized in his own home." You know what I mean? Shout out to my boy
Mm,
MCG. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
That sound
But
deep.
I never had
that's
that.
how it go.
Um,
Like that's
But
how it
yeah,
go.
for
It's
sure.
like
I
we have to be
right.
recognized on an international scale before our own people could have an appreciation for
mm,
that level of success.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
The thing is, like, even your first question, like, if it counts, that's definitely a good question because that's a question for everyone to sort of ask themselves. Only you could answer that, right?
yeah.
Does it count if nobody even know if a tree falls in the woods, nobody around the air, does it make a sound, right?
doesn't
Like,
make a
No.
sound. Yeah,
right? And I think I love questions like that just because it it does make a sound, right? It make a sound
Mm,
if you if based on what you consider a sound, right?
yeah.
So for me, um, even like I'll say that myself, I consider myself like a really good creative, right?
Mm,
In the Bahamas, but you might ask someone about me and they would be, who the hell is that? Right. But that don't take away from the fact that I'm good at something or that you know what I mean? I know my contributions, whether other people don't know it or not. So for me personally, success is always going to be an individualized thing.
mm,
Whether you recognize for it or not, like you can't take away the fact
sure,
that I did it. I did the thing.
right.
Um, no matter what happens, you're not going to be able to take that away from me. So for me personally, success is how you define it, and because of that, it does count. In my personal opinion, it counts, especially like
mm,
to go back to proof point. If what you did was set a goal, if what I did is say, boy, I can put out a mixtape, and I want this mixtape sound like this, and I want it feel like this, and it did all those things. It doesn't matter to me personally if 12 people streamed it or 12 million people streamed it, because on the other side of it, we all know about people who have success for garbage, right? Like your song is trash,
True.
your music is trash. You people actually streaming your song because it sounds so bad. People know your name famous around the place for
yeah.
bad reasons, right? So
Right.
success have to be. I like the definition of success of proof put forward
Mm,
versus just being known, because just being known and successful is two different things. My personal opinion.
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah. Right. So that's popularity versus success. You know what I mean? I completely agree with you, boy. Completely agree with you. And I feel like for example, I've been Well, yeah, I've been bowling off and on now for the past 10 plus years.
Big
I kind of
bowler.
age myself, right?
Strike
And
daddy.
one of my goals was to always make the national team, travel with the team, right? Uh, and at one point, I kind of gave up on that goal, and I was actually able to travel with the team
Mhm.
last year, made the team, travel with the team. We didn't do the best, but for me, that's still a level of success because
Right.
I it was a goal that I set out to achieve.
Time
No
out.
one knew it.
Time out.
You're diamond out.
I can let you finish.
Okay, Kanye.
We, we have a we have a national bowling here.
My point exactly.
I just gotta say,
And
you
that's
see, right?
and that's my point. That is exactly my point. That is exactly my point. It's little to not known at all. I mean, if you ask me. And yeah, we traveled, we competed, we showed up, we
Hmm.
competed against, I think it was like 67 different countries. Um, but yeah, we out there,
Shout
we
out to him,
doing things on an
Bahamas.
international level, right? And that was something that I set out to do many years ago. For me, though we didn't perform, I guess to a level on par with the rest of the international teams. That's something that we still, that's something
Mm.
that I still set out to achieve, and I actually did. You know what I mean? So for me, that's still successful.
Bro, shout out to you, boy. Like, first of all, like, pardon my ignorance for not knowing, but to be on a national,
A lot of people don't know it.
the national team of that, bro, that's
Yeah,
so
that's
dope.
dope. Well, once
And
again, there's only 13 us in the world. You see what I'm saying? So it's like
Right?
to show up and to be present, but
Little fish in a big pond.
just to be present alone, I just be on. So I just be feeling myself though. I feel that big energy of like I in a room where there's maybe no other Bahamian has been in this room before
mm,
or in this
Yeah.
position before or like you know what I mean. And I
mm,
think because we're such a young country and there's so much to do, there's so much to still create, there's so much to still contribute. I'd be proud, bro. I'd be proud when I see a
Oh, for sure.
buddy at name next to them, other names. When where we from? We from a place where light is cut off at will. When it want to,
Little piece of
you
winning the
know.
power off.
flip.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, big up yourself, bombers. You somewhere out there in the big wide world doing a thing that most of us didn't do, or your daddy didn't do, or your parents didn't get to do. Shout out to you. All right, that's dope. That's Bame is just different, bro. We just special.
Yeah, and I think
While we out, we could go
I
ahead. Go
think
ahead, Jake.
a lot of things in our culture ingrained in us, and we don't see it right away. But as generations pass, like we can get rid of it. And I think one thing in our culture that we need to like let that dead is our innate desire or burning passion to humble people. So it's there like, yo, like
Oh
my
my
boy,
god, that's a
my
good
boy,
one.
my boy on the national bowling team representing the Bahamas for bowling. And if you tell that to the wrong Bahamian, who's bowling? Darn that it. You already win. But it's still like, no,
That ain't a real sport.
that's still a successful feat. And it's there
Oh,
like
for sure.
we could call it black crab syndrome. We could call it just hateration. Shout out to Mary J. Blige or whatever. But it's there like we have that innate nature in our culture to try to humble people whenever we feel like they feel in themselves so much. Like that saying where I say you think you better than people. How you know what I
Yeah.
thinking?
Yeah.
No, for
How,
real.
how you know I think
Yeah.
that? Like why
For
you
sure.
feel
For
a
sure.
need to humble me just because I feel like I reach a point in success that I set for myself and I
Yeah,
celebrated.
let that dead for sure. The Bayman urge to humble niggas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Let
you
them
just
know.
want to humble.
Yeah.
You just want to humble someone because it's like, bro, you think, hey, you thinking too much of yourself now. Like I
Yeah.
need you to relax.
Like
You
you have
know,
too much
that's
confidence.
crazy.
Like no, because like if you are if they always could compare your success against a higher metric just to make it look smaller. So it's
Right.
there like, yeah, you make the national team, you all didn't win though, or you all win that game, but that's only one time. You only get
Yeah.
2 gold medals. Michael Phelps got like 16. That's it.
Yeah, that's called
Like,
minimizing, right? You
yeah,
Yeah.
minimizing my success. You minimizing um what I accomplished when once again But yeah, I don't care if you play 16th. We are a tiny island nation, bro. You know what I mean? Like when you really put it in perspective, like we out here doing stuff, dog. Like that's dope to me, you know. But
For sure,
that's
for
a
sure.
really good point. That's a really really good point. I think you bring up a lot of stuff. I was gonna bring up the idea of do we need international validation to be successful?
Mm,
Um, and like I guess my most successful being in, like I said, it's like a Sydney point there. But even in saying that, right? Even in saying most success, it's like we're talking about money and we're
mm,
talking about infamy, right? But like you can imagine, like Hubert Ingram and Perry Christian, I'm sitting there well, I mean, as a leader of a whole country, like I
yeah.
Yeah,
do you would you say like most Bahamians don't necessarily look at like those sort of like policymakers and politicians and uh things like that as success? Like we still looking kind of like the
Mm.
rappers, ball players,
yeah, for sure.
actors. You think that's a thing for us too? Like we hear about that in the black community, but would you say like that's our version of success too, more in our world?
Mm.
Not this generation. Not this generation. The maybe our parents, maybe our grandparents, they kind of idolize politicians and the
Mm.
movers and shakers of the country. But this generation, of course, if it's not sports or it's not music or it's not the big screen, you ain't successful as far as they're concerned. You know what I mean?
That's it.
But yeah, definitely our parents and grandparents, they idolize those that kind of paved the way
Mm.
in politics and in policies, procedures for the country.
Uh, and I think a part of that is because the world was smaller back then, they had more appreciation for it.
Mm,
Like because you could appreciate it for what it was. That this boy from dumping ground corner or so and so make it from well water and straw bag to a suit to being in parliament where it was only white people and now to
Yeah,
run a nation when it was racism and prejudice and all that. Like we could appreciate that, but now that the world bigger, we could see that hey,
true. Yeah,
like yeah, you run in the Bahamas, but you ain't Donald Trump.
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like
I think that's a good point.
yeah,
It's like
I
that
feel like
nigga on the horse, that nigga on the horse syndrome, right? Like, is that
saying
nigga on the
what?
horse from Django?
Oh,
Is that a nigga on a horse? Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like this idea of like, wow, like you say, you never thought old boy from being down could be this, right? I do think
yeah,
that's a really good point. And now it's like we're in a global world where it's like I could be Jay Z, I could be Kanye. Um, Even though I would argue that's the last era of true talent, right? Like
mm,
when I was coming up, talent was like we like Ludacris them and all that. We was looking up to them because it's like, boy, this boy could rap. Now it's like you don't really gotta could rap no more. Like
uh,
you just gotta be able to like do a thing or be funny or go viral or whatever.
uh,
Um, so now it's like people know that they know like I just one TikTok away
mm,
from stardom
yep.
or one incident recording it at the right time away from this or even like putting together a silly song that turn into like a dance song away from a hit. And now it's like because people know that it become it becomes so much more like your goal and thing up here,
mm, yeah.
right? Like you really do feel like you could be a millionaire on air. So success is for you to be a millionaire on air.
Yeah, I think yeah. So with that, I think it's I guess the basis or the foundation of success shifted from actually achieving something meaningful or a goal that you set to having enough people chime
How
in
much
on
views
your
can I
success.
get?
Yeah. So is
Yep.
that like
How
how
much
much?
people could see me do this thing?
Yeah, like how much people could say I'm successful for it to be success, as opposed to
Mm,
hey, like no, I achieve my goals and that's success for me. So it's there like we don't put in the context how 500 people watching a video. Like if you think about it, in a room full of 500 people watching you do something, like in context, like that's crazy. That's a good much amount of numbers. But we just say, okay, how much more people then got to be successful? When is that like?
yeah,
For sure. Yeah. The numbers run us, bro. Like
yeah,
even as
yeah.
a Aloezy them when they was 26, they was like up 10, $15 million. Soldier Boy was up like $18 million when he was 16. Just from off of saying that you think like bro. So now how could I feel
Soldier Boy,
successful
killer.
from I just won a Toastmasters thing like that? I'm up 16 mil, look. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I just got up a Birkin for Bay, like you know what I mean. So I
Yeah.
think, and then obviously I'm making like you could see the stuff happening. I could see a dude going like this or holding the money to his ears, and it's like, bro, I can't. If I take everything out my bank account, I can't even put the wire to my ears. Like it'd be like a little. I got like a little beeper. I don't even got a cell phone. You know what I mean? So it's like I could look and I could see that I could basically see I'm not what success is. Like what
Mm.
they say success is. If success is a Billy, I did, but I super unsuccessful. And then even back in the day, right? Like, bro, if this was like what 40 years ago, I'd have been so successful. Maybe would have been, I'd
Yeah.
have been that nigga, right? I have multiple degrees. You've been to college. You don't have
For real, for real.
no
Yeah.
babies out of wedlock. What like I'd have been a
Yeah.
unicorn, right? But now it's like you're just average, right? Like you're just a regular you're just a regular nigga, which is
It's just
actually
another way.
also crazy when you think about it. Because as far even like black people, like as far as we come, right? Like there's a
Mm.
time when I couldn't even use that bathroom over life again, boy. I get flogged. You know what I mean?
Wait,
We
the
come so
crazy part is,
far.
but we sure have. Social media has tainted our image of everything, but what
Yeah,
success is, who we are as individuals. Like we out there just trying to be like everybody else. You know, this we live in a copy and paste era, because really and truly
absolutely.
nothing that we're doing now or that this generation is doing now is original. This is just a template that somebody else used that they deemed successful, and it's like, all right, if he did this or she did this, and let me copy and paste this and try to do this too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Uh,
So
and can
in
we
terms
even
of
blame you?
success,
You know?
right, right. In terms of success, it's like, oh, I'm just another person. I'm just another. Regardless of you hit a goal or you reach this target, it's like, it's just another day. This don't mean nothing. Like Jay said, you could be on the screen in a room full of 500 people, and for some persons that's successful, and other
Yeah,
people just shrugged it off like, oh, I mean, I don't have 100,000 views. That don't mean nothing
yeah.
to me. You know what I mean?
yeah. And you gotta ask: is it I mean, are we like perpetually just taking the standard from someone else, right? Like because
Mm.
if in yourself, like honestly, if you take away knowing, for instance, that you could have like Kaiser could have like a million people viewing this stuff at one time, right? You take away that
Mm.
fact
One
and you
time.
just go online and you just want to share this thing and 75 people watching. You probably would feel like, wow, like 75 different humans actually watching
Yeah.
my thing. But it's just the knowing that wait, there's someone out there sitting in front of their computer with a million. And I imagine even if
Comparison,
we were to get rich, right? If you was to get $1 million
comparison.
in your bank account today, eventually that thought will be like, but there's 2 million, right?
Yeah.
You get 10, but eventually there's 100 mil. You get a
Yeah.
Yep.
hundred million, but there's a billion, right? And I think
Bro. It's
like
an ever moving goalpost, but the goalpost
yeah,
continues to move. So our
yeah,
margin of success will never remain static. But you know what I mean?
Based on that,
Or I
yeah.
mean, it was always static because it's always moving. Is what I meant to say. Yeah.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. Success, guys. Did you consider yourself successful in this stage in your life?
Mm. I do. I do. I do feel like I'm
Yeah.
successful
Yes and no for me.
in regards to um setting goals, achieving those goals, and then just ultimate like progression. I'd say yes. I feel proof when you say yes and no because it's there. Like when I check stock, there being me. When I check stock, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that I wanted to achieve but haven't, or there's a lot of
Right.
things that I said I was gonna do and didn't do. So that would give me the feel like, yeah, like I ain't really do that. But when I check stock and think about like you're like positions that I was in and how I progressed from that, or like places that I was that I ain't there no more, it's there like, right? That's what success is. I think,
Yeah.
and that like one of my favorite Drake lines is there like, you're like, I just trying to take care of my people, and rewards for that. Like that's my trophies. So it's there like sometimes the things that we consider success or could be successful, like you can't put a marker or a number on that.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
So
For
I feel
sure.
like, yeah, bro.
For sure. For sure.
You say yes or no, Proof.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, because like I said earlier, we tend to compare ourselves a lot to what other person is doing. It's like, oh, this person is at this point in their lives and they have this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And for you deem that successful. That other person might be like, oh, that's just another check mark on my road to success. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but and then you have people looking at you the same way. Oh, this dude, he's accomplished this, he's accomplished that, he's accomplished that. I wish I could be where he's at. You know what I mean? So if
Yeah.
I look at myself from the lens of other persons that aspire to want to be and do the things that I have done, yes. When I start comparing myself to what other people do and where other people at, I'd be like, yeah, no.
Maybe
You know
not.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's a
So
good point.
that's my reason for the yes and no. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's similar. I think that I'm successful at things, right? At some stuff in my life, and then I'm incredibly unsuccessful at other stuff. Like I'm a failure at a lot of other things, right?
Mm,
Um, but yeah, the ultimate goal isn't stuff for me.
mm,
So it's like I don't think success and what I consider success is even like attainable in a true sense. Like you just kind of working towards one day, maybe when I go, people could be like, yeah, this boy leave an impression on me, he showed up for me or whatever. For me, that's my sort of metric of success. And in that way, it's like you say to quote old boy, they don't got no awards for that, right? They don't got no trophies for that. You can't quantify that. So yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of trophies, so on the YouTube level, it's time, guys. We introduced the season 3. We go and spin a block on the Culture Icon Awards. We call it the Culture Crown Awards. That name is gonna stick this time.
mm.
The Culture Crown Awards, where we nominate people we consider icons in the culture. You want to recognize them, but before we get there, we have to go through this long list of nominees. We each nominate a bunch of people, and then we nominate um, places too. And so right now, just to give the people a quick recap of the nominees. So we got Debbie Ferguson, Leslie
Mm.
Miller, Audlin H. Bodie. Please say the H. Um, Mother Pride, Phil Stubbs, Collage Entertainment, Miss Daisy, Clint Watson, Perry Christie. And then we actually put something out there very briefly, very quickly for the people to make a pick. And the people chose Rodney Monka. All right. So Rodney Monka is the people's choice nominee, but he could still lose. He could lose today, even. Um, but his name is in the mix now. And places, we have the Fry, we have Bamboo. Sorry, the Fries. Pardon me. We have
Get
Bamboo.
it right.
We have apparently Granny's Goodies. I still gotta get over that.
One time for grannies.
Super Wash, the Glass Window Bridge, Gimmons Bay. And that's what we working with. So today, guys, we're gonna cut it down. We gotta lose one of these people. One person, one place today. So each of us nominate one place we want kill, and let's see if we could get it down. Sorry, one person we want to eliminate, not kill.
We
We
want
don't
to
kill people.
remove.
Yeah,
Right. Right. We're gonna etch them off the list.
Yeah,
we want
we need no more of going
No.
icons, eh?
no, not at all. We want them here
Um,
for a long time. Go ahead.
I'll start it off with my vote to be removed from consideration for icons. Persons. It was hard. I'd think on it, sleep on it. I almost drank a collect to really like get my juices flowing to really help me to think through, but
Yeah.
I will fulfill stuff to get going.
Oh my god. Phil Stubbs.
Like
Oh
just when I
man,
think of the caliber of people, I it was rough. It was rough. Like shout out to Phil,
Philip,
right
come
here,
on, man.
right in my bosom. But I got to vote for
You
Phil,
trying
man.
to eliminate one of the greatest storytellers of our history, bro.
This man,
One of the greatest
you
storytellers
never
in
cease to
Bahamian
amaze me.
history, bro.
You never
You ever
cease
been
to
to a Phil
amaze
Stop
me.
concert, bro? No.
I love Phil. Like I said, right there in my bosom.
My goodness.
Man of my own heart.
I am sorry. I'm sorry, Phil. That's a Cat Island man, boy.
Boy, I don't know.
Sorry.
I
Sorry, Phil.
disappointed in you, Jay. Wow. But anyway, my pick is Phil Stubbs.
My goodness. That's 2 for 2.
Oh, my pick is
At
Phil
this point,
Stubbs as well.
I don't even have to vote. At this point, I don't even have to vote.
We love you, Phil, bro.
We love
Just
you, Phil.
the stories you tell.
I'll save my vote for the next episode.
Wow, the stories you tell are remarkable. We appreciate your contribution.
Oh,
And one thing I love about being musicians is like that stuff is gonna exist forever, right? Like it's gonna be around forever. Like it's not gonna fade away. So we appreciate you, but this is a heck of a list, and we got Olympic gold medalists on this list. We got broadcasting pioneers. I sure you can appreciate how difficult this was for us. Like you say, we slept and prayed and fasted. We had to take a swig of a rattler or two, and I have to say that's the conclusion I came up with too. Phil, Godspeed. But until next
It's
time,
been good, my guy.
Link up.
It's been good, my guy.
we can link Phil.
On the
All right,
phone.
who would you have picked? Oh, you can reserve that. Yeah, reserve that for.
Yeah, I can save that for the next episode.
Yeah, you and
No,
Philip
I can
straight
say
with
it. Ortland,
No, don't say.
please say the H Bodie was getting
No,
kicked
don't
off.
say don't say the whole name like
He
that.
was getting the whole name. My
No,
my
man,
pick
don't
was
say this,
Ortland
huh?
H Bodie.
You know, if you say his name without the H, he'll show up like Beetlejuice. But
I know,
anyway,
right?
all right. So
another day.
we have to do our place now. So we can let Proof kick off and nominate his place
Oh man.
that he wants to
Oh,
see
man.
eliminated.
Of the places listed, I'm gonna have to go with I kicking Bamboo off, but Bamboo gotta go.
Bro, don't make me
Bamboo
cuss,
gotta
yeah?
go. Bamboo
Bro,
gotta go, but I ain't
what
kicking
time-
off my nominations. I am not kicking off any of my nominees.
Let me ask you something.
That's a
None of my
bias,
nominees.
man. That's a
And
bias.
the fries. And
These island
this is a
niggas, bro?
bias. Wait, y'all ain't try grannies yet? My bad, but I forget to drop the location, Jared. What a sec.
See,
y'all ain't try
even
grannies,
even you don't care that much.
Y'all
Listen,
ain't try grannies, but
Listen to me.
There's
Okay.
no way. Hold on, wait, Jake. There's no reality in which we're gonna vote out Bamboo Shack over no flicking grannies, goodies.
in my reality, for
Your
the sake of the
reality
count,
is some other stuff. No, bro.
for the sake
Listen
of
to
the
me.
count, you know what?
Listen to me. No, you vote. You entitled to your opinion. You entitled to your vote.
Oh, I ain't changing my opinion. Bamboo, we still want your sponsorship, but
Bottle freeze.
but
Yeah, we still need that little
yeah.
thing. We need that check
That's
for
my
a
vote.
drive. But yeah,
But in that being said, I did not receive the location, and two of my Grammys dead. So with that being said, my vote to be removed
Oh, man.
was Granny's Goodies. I saw Grammy.
man, come on, man, Jay.
They even didn't give you a try, Dread. That's also a bias vote.
That's not a.
They even didn't give you a try, Granny. They
You know
didn't
what?
give you a try.
Let me see how we can do this now. You know what? I gotta ask because Granny's good is gone. You see how that work like that? You see that alliteration? Matter of fact, hold on. Let me set up the screen so I can do it like this. So when we put it online, I can say Granny's goodies gone. Done. I don't know. Granny's goodies might be delicious. I don't know. I never been there. But what I do know
Oh man.
is that there's no way Bamboo Shack going anywhere right now. All right. Sorry, Proof. Sorry to beat up on you like this today.
Oh man.
Coronavirus.
But we got, hey, we had to do some house clean, some NASA nigga house cleaning just now.
My goodness. Grannies, they can change their mind once they taste your conch. I promise you that they can spin the block.
Send me the location.
No. If Granny listening, send us some conch. We'll do a live conch tasting test side by side, Granny's versus bamboo, and we'll tell the truth. Whoever win, gotta give us a sponsorship.
Oh man.
But guys, that's the first set of voting. Sorry, y'all had to see us do this the proof. But Granny's goodies out. Thank you, Granny's good. I mean, I can't even really thank Granny. I don't know Granny. You thank Granny. Proof.
Problem.
You thank Granny. That's why she got me. Go on.
You thank her. That's your Grammy.
I can swing in the village tomorrow.
Yeah,
hey, look, Grammy, tell her.
And interview them. Ask, give us something.
Send the conch. We'll eat it.
Give us something. They can't be. I don't even know who Grammy is. What island she from? She's a make or store.
But y'all true Bahamian, boy. How y'all don't know but Granny's goodies, boy?
Nah.
That's like Jay saying, he know we had a national bowling team.
You see, we learning. That's what the show all about, to learn people. But I know one thing. People know who Bamboo Shack is. There are 11 locations. And they're fried, dry delicacies that can be enjoyed. They're succulent conch and
not so much these days.
Beverages. Don't mess up this bag now. They're succulent. They're extra mayo.
You keep your black crab syndrome over there.
Y'all gotta excuse him. He from the Outer Islands, all right? So he ain't privy to the magic that is bamboo. But yeah, shout out to Granny's Kitchen. I definitely gonna check it out. I gotta see what the hype is about.
Goodies. Get it right, boy.
It could be goodies, Granny's for all I know. But anyway, I can check it out. I don't mean no disrespect, Granny. GG, no disrespect whatsoever. Someone nominated y'all for the icon, and I guess that comes for something. I can't speak to it, but thank you for your conky contributions, and we'll see what's good next week. Next episode, we'll dive deeper. About to get real. We had to do some house cleaning. About to get real. So yeah, Culture Crown Awards coming soon. But yeah, that's this episode. Brought to you by Granny's Goodies.
The best conch on the island.
The best cookie conch on the island. Yeah.
Shout out to Grammy.
Until next time, y'all. Link up.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
Classy.